Is it unfair to NFL teams to have the draft go ahead as scheduled?
Okay, I love that as everything else falls apart, the NFL has been so business as usual, almost unaffected by everything going on in the real world. But there is one universal truth about football. If you allow them all the time in the world to overthink, to overprepare, to sleep in their office at 4 a.m., they will choose the way to do that. They will do too much thinking, and then they will still draft Tom Brady in the 6th round. The idea that this is an inexact science that is overstudied and overprepared is fairly amazing. So they're going to think that any amount of time that's reduced will end up being unfair to them, just like they think that any amount of practice time that the union ends up taking away is unfair. But it isn't any kind of unfair. Everyone is facing all sorts of challenges, and the NFL ought to be able to adapt in this climate as everyone else is asked to adapt.
Yeah, but let's be very clear about who it is that finds this to be unfair. It is the general managers, a.k.a. the people who are going to be fired for bad picks. So, like, if you believe that all the research that they do leading up to the draft matters, then you believe that this last month that they're going to be missing out on matters, and you believe that you're going to be making uninformed decisions, and you will probably be fired for those uninformed decisions if they don't go well. I get why those dudes are like, yo, can you give us a little time? And it'll take years to track how much it'll matter if they have the draft. Because, look, if they can't have the draft, I understand why the league wants to do it. But it'll take years to track what was really lost by losing that month. But let's imagine for a second that the success fail rate, all this stuff really isn't that much different with all the research. We will be exposing this whole process as a fraud. If it turns out that they could actually do all this draft stuff just off film and physicals, that those are the only two things that they need, everything we've been giving you for decades has been a lie. ESPN does not want me that. Wow, did I just mess up the whole hustle right here, right now? Did I do this all myself?
I mean, it is kind of a fraud anyways. Like, it already is a bit of a fraud.
When I saw that this was the question they were going to ask us, I was like, are we going to expose ourselves as saying you could get rid of all this stuff and it's kind of the thing that we do? But Marty makes a perfectly valid point. I think the thing that's tough, though, is that, like, we don't know when this is over. We don't have any sort of clear timeline on when things are going to go at least a little bit back to normal. So the NFL is preparing for a season that it thinks is going to probably start on time. So it's like if you push back the draft and then you have to push back, it's like there's no way to figure out what the timeline is. So I get why it's confusing. I get why the NFL is going to do what they always do, which is just try to maintain business as usual. But yeah, I think it's unfair, but I also don't want to expose the cracks in the foundation of the thing we build our livelihoods on.
I tell you this, though, it would be kind of great for the NFL as a freestanding entity if they found out that all they needed to do was evaluate film, right? Like, if they found out that was all that they needed to do to figure out these draft things, it would make everybody's life so much easier. Maybe in some ways less lucrative, but certainly it would have to make everything so much easier because they put so much man time on just trying to figure out these draft prospects to only be so good at it in the end. And I'm not judging them because I probably wouldn't be that good at it either if it put me in this same situation. But you know what this draft is, man? It's trying to get into college, but like Ivy League trying to get into college. Like, it's all SAT, Kaplan courses, and everything else, so that on one day you could be the best at math that you have ever been, and the test score goes around, and everything that you did before did not matter. Like, the NFL encourages people to con them because the nature is the 40-yard dash. It's the SAT. Get you a good SAT score, and then we're going to act like your transcript doesn't matter. That's the game they play it. I don't think it's good to set up a system that allows you to get defrauded in such a way, and maybe this will save them from themselves.
One of the things I do enjoy about this, because this is so incredibly random, I know that one of the great frustrations of coaches who are overly meticulous, not just in football, but throughout sports, is they are control freaks. And then the ball goes up and they lose almost total control of everything that's happening, even with all their timeouts and all their strategy. I can't think of people who would like the randomness of this any less than general managers who want to control the outcome of this, think that more time will give them some control over the outcome of this. And as I said, Tom Brady falls through round after round after round and is found all of a sudden in the 6th round.
Why do you keep bringing him up, Dan? Why is it that you keep saying that name? Today was the first time I got a highly quarantined email that was like, nothing with Tom Brady in it. And I was like, let's go. I can smile and have a good day. And now twice Twice you've said his name for no reason other than to cause this.
Well, I can use Tom Brady's supported comparison here, though. The part that really has to scare some of these general managers. At least we know that somewhere Tom Brady is out here eating Brussels sprout ice cream and like stretching and getting pliable and everything else to try to make himself physically ready. Hey, man, it's going to be some dudes showing up to training camp, draft picks and otherwise, that are going to look like, oh, damn, I didn't think we was coming back to work, or like I didn't have anywhere to lift some weights. Like, you're going to be drafting some dudes, and then we go Skype into their house and be like, yo, man, you really let yourself go.
I cannot wait till the NBA resumes and we have 340-pound Dion Waiters.
The 1999 lockout. That's what this will be. When you come back from that and be like, damn, he looks like Sean Kemp. Oh, he is Sean Kemp.
Is this lighting better? Is this lighting? I feel like I'm in a club.
Yeah, the blue one felt. Yeah, that's the club. Ooh, 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 yeah.
Come on, Dan, get with it.
Woo!
Is that a dance move?
That's dance move in the club.
That's me. That's me.
Shake
just
them off.
brushing beard stuff off my face. What that was.
Nah, I used to do that. Shake the haters off. That used to be the move.